Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. I very nearly got matched without even starting recording. I was like, all right, time to start the next video, and I hit auto match, and I was like, didn't say anything. I knew I wasn't recording, but like I forgot that I have to also hit record. I don't know. And then I was all warming up to say like, well, welcome back, and I was like, wait a minute, there's no one's listening to me right now. No games live. Well, we could watch Mineral Thief. Playing against Masterbot, I guess, or what? Playing against Unknown. Why aren't these guys live? Is this like a league game or something? I don't know. Is League going on? I'm not really following this season. So, who's winning here? Kinda looks like Mineral Thief is winning. A lot more econ. But I guess down a couple splitters. Choosing not to attack into the barriers. Oh, and the doomed wall, I see, yes. You're absorbing for like 11. Okay. Just sack all the botches and buy more. Interesting. Yeah, it's pretty tough to defend. Although, isn't your opponent losing some attack? Maybe not. 7, 10, 11, 12. They're losing 2. Well, no, they're losing a splitter if you attack like this, right? Maybe even less if they absorbed onto plasma. 8, 11, 12, 13. They can absorb up to 16 and not lose any attackers. Yeah, I think Mineral Thief's in pretty good shape. And this even allows absorbing onto Doomed Wall instead of onto Plasma Fire, which is nice. I think. You unlose the Grimbotch and lose NG instead? Oh, you want to just do it that way, huh? What? No, you lose the wall and absorb onto the Doomed Wall, don't you? You're not that worried about getting exploited, I don't think. Okay. Shows what I know. Enemy loses 1, probably 2 attack here. Yeah. I assume Unknown gave up? Yes. Matched with Unknown. Yeah, they must have been playing like a ladder game. I just don't... It wasn't live for some reason. Alright, Unknown's a tough customer, despite having just lost a game. Oh, and I don't know how to play these guys. I'm really bad at Vi and Ice Blade. And I'm not, like, amazing at the rest of the set either. I mean, Lancettooth seems like it's usually pretty important. I think that's sort of well known. The question is like, what is there something like is Ice Blades and Vi like better? It's a lot of health to build those Ice Blades, but I don't know. Lancettooths can get up to 6 pretty fast. And Vi just seems like too much red in a set with no absorb and no red sync. Unless you count Ice Blades. So I'm kind of thinking just DD, DDC, DDB, GG kind of thing, like to get at the Lancettooth right away. But that line always like has trouble actually getting any absorbers up, but since your opponent's Lancetoothing anyway, that's sort of okay. Okay. I don't really think Synth sees any play. And I'm not playing any of these units either. I guess I'd be more likely to buy a Synth than any of them. I don't really expect to buy an Oxide Mixer either. So maybe a Synth is better just because, like, it can get you a lot of force fields. Maybe. But I don't know. They all seem pretty far-fetched. This is, I don't know. I'm just sort of looking at this set as, like, basically base plus Lance Tooth. And that tells me I'm probably reading it wrong. Cutting for an Oxide Mixer or what? To make it harder for me to... Boy, this is very low econ. Lance Tooth encourages such things, but... I don't get it. Oxide Mixer drone? Is that really that great? I don't even really want an Oxide Mixer that badly, I think. If opponent gets a splitter here, I'm fine. Go ahead. I don't mind that I'm not absorbing for a turn. I think they'll get an Oxide Mixer. They're getting a splitter. I've never seen anyone cut a drone for a splitter. That's an interesting line. I mean, I guess I'm not absorbing for several turns, right? Because I don't see any need to give their Lance Tooth value. Oh, this is kind of interesting, though, because now they build a second attacker. Oh. Also, my original line was kind of silly. They build a second attacker, and I don't want to build a wall into that, right? So I'm actually just, like, force fielding and building a Gauss Cannon and a splitter. I can exactly afford that. That's kind of cool, I guess. What a weird game. I mean, if you want to go, like, no absorb ever, I'm the one with green. And more drones. Like, what does opponent buy here? A splitter is not amazing. A wall is clearly bad. Oxide? And another forge, so you can build wall... Lance Tooth, I guess. But I'm not going to oblige you by building my own wall. I'll just force field again. These Lance Tooth games get silly, I think. Maybe, like, so I force field, and, like, what else do I buy? Like, do I get a Lance Tooth? It's not great when it's not denying any absorb. I'm pretty sure, like, I've seen people do it, but I don't think it's that great. But it is, like, an attacker I can buy now that won't add attack next turn, so I can still threaten a pretty good Lance Tooth. But Oxide Mixer has similar properties. And doesn't reward opponent for not building any defense, right? I kind of now see where my opponent is coming from with that engineer. Or, I'm sorry, with that extra blast forge. Because it's sort of tempting to want to, like, say, oh, I'll get a wall and a Lance Tooth or something. But I still don't think opponent's going to let me get away with that. Like, they're not going to... Lance Tooth's not going to be very good. And I already have enough tech that I can build an attacker if I want it with, like, a Gauss Cannon or something. So... think I'll just do this. Drone up. Another Oxide, right? Yeah. Okay, they're just getting a splitter. And now, like, you have the option to hold it on defense and attack for 2 if you want. But if you do that, you give me my own Lance Tooth value, right? So I feel like I can build a wall finally. They're gonna deny it value, but it costs them an attack to do so. Right? Like, we do this. And get another... Well, I can't get another Oxide Mixer. This feels a little silly, but I think it's fine. It leaves me at 2 attack usefully next turn. And then I can build a Lance Tooth a couple turns in a row and, like, finally... Ugh, I don't know. I feel bad about the fact that opponents ahead on all these attackers. But I have, like, Absorb. I don't know. I don't really. But neither do they. I could have cut all this to build another forge for, like, Oxides, but that train's not going to ride for very long, and I'd rather, like, not have a bunch of excess blue when it ends. Like, opponent only has 11 drones. They can't do this because they want double tooth next turn. You kind of need to cut the NG. Anyway, I'm droning up now that we've gotten to the point of the game where, like, Absorb kind of does something. I don't know if it's correct, but this is enough drones that I can, like, actually use some tech, is my thinking. But they're, like, way ahead on attack. On the other hand, I'm way ahead on drones, I guess. So we kind of want to attack for 4 next turn and, like, build 2 Lance Teeth, but I don't think that's very likely. Is it? I mean, I could double Force Field. I think I can get away with this. But I talked about earlier how, like, I just can't build that many. Oh, that sucks, doesn't it? I don't know, if I just start going in for a reason. Well, I can't defend if I spend my green on Gauss Cannon and don't buy another Forge or anything, right? And I just start giving opponent actual Absorb now. Well, but they can't attack with everything, can they? They can't even, like, just hold back Splitter. Yes, they can't really double Tooth next turn this way, I think. If I threaten 5? Well, they could if they held back Lance Tooth. No, but I threaten more than 5 because I have all these pixies. Yeah, I think maybe just attacking is pretty good. I mean, this hurts a lot, though. But that's why I got all these drones and all this green. Is like, there's kind of a lot of attack, and you need some tech to deal with it all. Okay, kind of funny, like, it's clearly the right defense. It just, like, was not clear to me at the beginning that... hang on, isn't 7 good? Yeah, it is. That the right defense was, like, to leave alive exactly a force field. On the other hand, like, opponent is defending with wall, and I'm not defending. And they can wall for a long time, but I'm losing drones. So, well, maybe their oxides run out and that's how I win? Oh no, they're getting a splitter. I don't know why exactly you're not just getting walls and, like, daring me to break out of the loop. It's like I'm not even ahead on drones anymore. All I have is a ton of green. This might be too much. Maybe the conduit should have just been 2 more NGs. It's gonna be a tough turn next turn, let me tell you. But I'm up in permanent attack now, actually. After this Gauss cannon. And their oxide mixer having just died. And we're tied on drones. So, I don't know. Maybe things aren't looking quite so bad. And, like, I can buy force fields. But I'm way down on defensive tempo at the moment, I think, because of these pixies. Maybe I'm not. Really? Yeah, I didn't think so. I mean, this is sort of a problem, so I don't think I want to do that. Like, losing drones every turn really hurts, and I don't like it at all. But, I mean, that's the advantage of green, is you can do that and it's not as bad as it normally would be. I'll be surprised if he does this without holding a drone back. Yeah. Because it's just too good an exploit to leave 3 walls as your only defense. Oh, I can click this if I... Oh, I don't want to, though, actually. This makes defense awkward for opponent. He has to actually lose the 2 drones. Or get exploited. And this way I don't have to force field as many times. Why'd you hold him back if you weren't going to lose him? Yeah. I don't mind attacking for 7 every turn, I think. Like, sacking 2 drones to save a wall is a good deal, but... You know, you'd prefer to just, like, have granularity and not have to sack the 2 drones. I should have maybe bought this drone last turn. Maybe I didn't have the money. I don't remember. I think I'm stable here, right? Not quite. I'm $1 short of wall force field NG, aren't I? Well, no, because I need the drone as well in order to be stable. Okay, I'm clearly not stable. I'm clearly declining, but am I declining as quickly as my opponent? That I'm not so sure of. They're out of walls. That's great news. Time to start holding splitters and stuff. Okay, yeah, hold Lance Tooth, sure. I could do this to kill 1 more engineer but lose 1 more engineer and have to force field more. I don't think that's a good idea. I guess they're just like buying their splitters as non-prompt walls now, right? Non-prompt walls with threat, because you're holding 1 back, I assume. I may be losing drones too quickly now. Yeah, the second conduit was definitely too much. If it had just been NGs, I might be in better shape. On the other hand, NG supply is a concern too. I got some good swing turns out of double force field once or twice, I think. Hang on. Yeah, I do need to do this. No, they're lose. If I held back the splitter and attacked with the lance tooth, they could threaten to attack with everything. Because they don't have to lose the splitter that way. No, wait, hang on. What am I saying? If I do this, they definitely have to lose a splitter. Yeah, this is better. But am I winning this? That's the question. Like, what am I killing this turn? Splitter NG. They're stable. They can buy that every turn. No, they can't. They can't even buy it next turn. But they don't need to. They have 2 NGs. They can buy Splitter every turn and NG every 2 turns. Which is still not stable, but it's close. Whereas me, I'm in some trouble. What if I tried to click this and build 2 more force fields instead of this NG? I don't think that's worth. Interesting. I thought they were going to try to offer me a breach for 2 or something. Like, don't kill any attackers, but they don't get any absorb. I don't know. I'm not sure what this is about. Shouldn't you hold the Lance Tooth? Like, it seemed pretty good for you. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm out of walls, which is like a pretty big problem. I have to hold Splitter and Lance Tooth next turn, don't I? Giving them their Splitter back? Maybe I can force field and avoid that. They're losing 1 attack this way, but not 2. This is a real bummer. This defends, but then I can't get more... more walls, right? Or more splitters, which is what I badly need, I think. I'm trying to make it hard for them to buy splitters, because that's how they're going to stay alive. I don't think you can do this, can you? I have so many force fields. I'll just kill your Lance Teeth. I don't think you can become reach proof. Well, I'll kill your drones, I guess, before your Lance Teeth. Will I? I mean, I guess. Lance Teeth are about as breach vulnerable as drones, aren't they? I don't think he's gonna let me, though. But can you really hold 3 attackers? It's another tough choice. Wow. All right. I might have some trouble, actually. I mean, not that that's a huge surprise or anything. Things have been pretty scary for a while. I'm just worried about, like, being able to keep enough Lance Tooths alive. Like, a lot more of my attackers are more breach vulnerable. Yes, I have Gauss cannons, but also I have more Lance Teeth and fewer splitters is the problem. Engineer supply has been depleted. Very funny. Okay. Is there any reason not to just force field up? Sure. I mean, if I saved these long enough, they could do something pretty cool, maybe. Okay. I had not figured out yet that this was a win. I believe opponent. But let's have a look anyway. Maybe they didn't realize I was out of Engies. So they're clearly, like, I think not defending anymore. So maybe their turn's basically just this. Okay, I mean, I guess actually this is pretty good for me, isn't it? Yeah. And now they can't ever kill my Lance Teeth. Okay, yes, clear victory. They can't even hurt my Gauss cannons. Alright. Fine. Now let's get back to the replay view so I don't have to deal with that analysis junk. The poor UI in there. So weird opening overall caused by the Lance Tooths. And I don't know how it happens, but I always like get confused about about the difference between Thermite Core and Lance Tooth. Because they both denied 2 attack, but the way they do it is very different. And so I was imagining GG after my Blast Forge, which makes no sense, right? But in Thermite Core, you go GG1, and then you can, like, click the Thermite, and it's fine. Here, I would go GS, and then, like, get Lance Teeth, and it's fine. You know, against, say, an opponent who obligingly gets a bunch of absorbers, you might do such a thing. I think opponent missed out on green, but it's easy to say that as player 2, right? Like, it was much easier for me. I wonder if maybe he should have cut for a conduit instead of a forge, because the forge was such a big commitment, and like you can float the green and then buy the attackers when you want them, which is similar to Oxide Mixer floating the pixies. Like build the Oxide Mixer early and then float the pixies instead of float the green and build the attackers late. They're similar. I don't know. But the problem is he's just on so few drones that the stuff he wants to do is just really hard. Right? He doesn't get to build double Lance Tooth anytime realistically. He has to build double wall, and that's like his whole turn. I also feel like he could have done well at some point to be holding back more attackers than he was. Because, like, he kept having to slam down so many walls. Whereas if he'd just been holding back an attacker, he could have maybe built one more attacker and threatened me for more, and not have to be holding drone all this time. I feel like things really got bad around here when he held back 2 drones, and I could easily exploit. Huh. I mean, this splitter did kind of a champ job, even though he was just a wall most of the game. He went and built me a couple Lance Tooths, and then he was a wall. And he was a wall with threat, because every so often, like, if opponent is not granular enough, I can hold back a Lance Tooth instead. And say, gotcha, I'm exploiting for one more. Or I'm absorbing for one more, and, like, I'm exploiting you. Or I'm making your defense at least awkward. Although here I didn't, actually. This didn't make opponent's defense awkward at all. Whatever, some turn. what it did, I don't remember. Maybe I never knew what I'm doing. It was just holding the splitter was where I got the exploits from. Huh. Well, a lot of tactical plays in the mid game to go over. I think though that this conduit was my biggest misplay of the game. I got double force field the next turn, and like then that could have been just 2 NDs the previous turn instead, and I'd have one more draw. I imagined I'd need a lot more force fields, but then I actually just like didn't. Yeah, and like I almost just like floated 4 gold through the whole game and still won. And so I guess that's an argument for how good the first conduit was, is that like the second one was awful and I still had a convincing victory. And cool dancing around of the 2 attack number. I'm not sure like how well either of us did it. But I think having your second tech be green instead of blue is a big help, because it's just so much easier to spend on force fields than it is to spend on walls. And you can buy Gauss cannons if like you have enough defense. I don't know. I mean, you can do that with, you can build like wall splitter as well, but that's like kind of, I don't know, it feels harder somehow. With Gauss cannons, you can build like wall, force field, and Gauss cannon, right? You can build 2 defenders and an attacker. Which is something you can't really do with just blue. Okay, cool. Well, I guess I'm done watching this game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.